Hi everyone, I'm Mike DeQuilla and I play Micah Morrison and Quincy Morris in the Dracula Inquiry. Thank you for listening and don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at _Artsonists, that's ART-Sonists, for updates on episode releases, live streams, and other fun stuff. Enjoy the show. I welcome you to the Dracula Inquiry.
Hello, this is Simon Jones. I'm afraid I cannot answer my phone, but please leave a detailed message for me with your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Hello, Mr. Jones. This is Detective Sheridan with the Boston Police Department. I'm calling in regards to some questions we have about Darren Woods and Micah Morrison. We understand that you're roommates with both men. Please, give me a call back at your earliest convenience. Regardless of the time, someone at the station should be able to take your call. Thank you.
Oh, hello, madam. I apologize, I didn't realize anyone was in here.
Not a madam.
Excuse me,
Not a madam, or a ma'am, or a miss. Just Morgan is fine.
Of course. Morgan. Are you enjoying the library?
It's beautiful. The whole castle is crazy. I mean, I never would have guessed it was so old.
The part of the castle that is open to visitors has been heavily renovated. The areas that are off limits are not so pretty.
Ooh, are they covered in cobwebs with secret passageways?
While not restored, I do my best to keep the rest of the castle free of cobwebs, though I'm sure there are some in the cellars. As for the service passageway, well, I've been working here a long time. I have certainly learned some of the castle's secrets.
No shit.
Yes, shit. Find anything interesting?
Oh yeah, totally. Everything in here is about the castle or related to Dracula, right?
That is correct. While the historical legitimacy of all these books and documents has not been assessed, they are all inspired by or pertaining to the mystery of Dracula.
So this could be real.
May I see?
Of course.
Ah, yes. We recently acquired this from an anonymous donor.
Ooh, that's kind of cryptic.
Not at all. We receive many anonymous donations. Rich families find old books or artifacts in their homes that may have been acquired in less than legitimate ways, and choose to return them anonymously, perhaps to clear their karma calculator.
Hell yeah, guilt trip the rich.
Indeed.
Wait, so this thing is actually from the 1800s?
Yes, the legitimacy of the texts vary, but this one does seem to be a genuine 1800s text. Though how knowledgeable any author was about Dracula and this castle is often up for debate.
It certainly sounds legit. A lot of the descriptions sound like they're speaking directly about this castle. I mean, the window at which I stood was tall
and deep, stone mullioned, and though weather-worn, was still complete. But it was evidently many a day since the case had been there.
I agree. It is a convincing text. But, as I said, I am no scholar.
There's also these two crazy dudes, so I don't know how real they can be. Dr. Seward and his patient, Renfield. This book goes through this Renfield guy's whole, descent into madness.
25 May. I went down amongst the patients. I picked out one who has afforded me a study of much interest. He is so quaint that I am determined to understand him as well as I can. I questioned him more fully than I had ever done, with a view to making myself master of the facts of his hallucination. I now see something of cruelty. I seem to wish to keep him to the point of his madness, a thing which I avoid with the patients as I would the mouth of hell. R. M. Renfield, age 59. Sanguine temperament, great physical strength, morbidly excitable, periods of gloom, ending in some fixed idea which I cannot make out. A possibly dangerous man, probably dangerous if unselfish. 5 June. The case of Renfield grows more interesting the more I get to understand the man. He has certain qualities very largely developed: selfishness, secrecy, and purpose. He seems to have some settled scheme of his own, but what it is I do not yet know. His redeeming quality is a love of animals. His pets are of odd sorts. Just now his hobby is catching flies. He has at present such a quantity that I have had myself to expostulate. To my astonishment, he did not break out into a fury as I expected, but took the matter in simple seriousness. He thought for a moment, and then said,
"May I have 3 days? I shall clear them away."
Of course, I said that would do. I must watch him. 18 June. He has turned his mind now to spiders, and has got several very big fellows in a box. He keeps feeding them with his flies, and the number of the latter is becoming sensibly diminished.
That doesn't seem so bad.
No, the spiders are creepy, but not that bad. But then the way Seward talks about the guy changes slightly.
19 July. My friend has now a whole colony of sparrows, and his flies and spiders are almost obliterated. When I came in, he ran to me and said he wanted to ask me a great favor. I asked him what it was, and he said with a sort of rapture in his voice and bearing,
A kitten. A nice, little, sleek, playful kitten that I can play with and teach and feed. And feed. And feed.
I had noticed how his pets went on increasing in size and vivacity, but I did not care that his pretty family of tame sparrows should be wiped out in the same manner as the flies and the spiders. So I said I would see about it, and asked him if he would not rather have a cat than a kitten. His eagerness betrayed him as he answered,
"Oh, yes, I would like a cat. I only ask for a kitten, lest you should refuse me a cat. No one would refuse me a kitten, would they?"
I shook my head and said that at present I feared it would not be possible. His face fell, and I could see a warning of danger in it, for there was a sudden, fierce, sidelong look which meant killing. The man is an undeveloped homicidal maniac. I shall test him with his present craving and see how it will work out. Then I shall know more.
He does not seem to be a very responsible medical professional.
Yeah, seriously! And of course Renfield gets worse.
11 a.m. The attendant has just been to me to say that Renfield has been very sick and has disgorged a whole lot of feathers. "My belief is, doctor," he said, "that he has eaten his birds and that he just took and ate them raw." 11 p.m. I gave Renfield a strong opiate tonight, enough to make even him sleep. My homicidal maniac is of a peculiar kind. I shall have to invent a new classification for him, and call him a life-eating maniac. What he desires is to absorb as many lives as he can, and he has laid himself out to achieve it in a cumulative way. He gave many flies to one spider, and many spiders to one bird, and then wanted a cat to eat the many birds. What would have been his later steps? It would almost be worthwhile to complete the experiment. It might be done if there were only a sufficient cause.
Talking about him like he's a pet,
I agree, his methods are distasteful.
I think he at least means well, and he writes about this woman he's trying to help too, Lucy Westenra.
I found Miss Westenra in seemingly gay spirits. Her mother was present, and in a few seconds I made up my mind that she was trying all she knew to mislead her mother and prevent her from being anxious. Then Lucy was left with me. We went into her boudoir, and till we got there her gaiety remained. As soon as the door was closed, however, the mask fell from her face, and she sank down into a chair with a great sigh, and hid her eyes with her hand. When I saw that her high spirits had failed, I at once took advantage of her reaction to make a diagnosis. I could easily see that she is somewhat bloodless, but I could not see the usual anemic signs, and by a chance I was able to test the quality of her blood. I secured a few drops of her blood and have analyzed them. The qualitative analysis gives a quite normal condition, and shows in itself a vigorous state of health. In other physical matters I was quite satisfied that there is no need for anxiety, but as there must be a cause somewhere, I have come to the conclusion that it must be something mental. She complains of difficulty in breathing satisfactorily at times, and of heavy, lethargic sleep, with dreams that frighten her, but regarding which she can remember nothing. I am in doubt, and so have done the very best thing I know of. I have written to my old friend and master, Professor Van Helsing of Amsterdam, who knows as much about obscure diseases as anyone in the world. Van Helsing would, I know, do anything for me for a personal reason, so no matter on what ground he comes, we must accept his wishes. He is a seemingly arbitrary man, but this is because he knows what he is talking about better than anyone else. He is a philosopher and a metaphysician, and one of the most advanced scientists of his day. And he has, I believe, an absolutely open mind. I have asked him to come at once.
My good friend, when I have received your letter, I am already coming to you. By good fortune, I can leave just at once, for I come to my friend when he call me to aid those he holds dear. Have then rooms for me at the Great Eastern Hotel, so that I may be near to hand, and please it so, arrange that we may see the young lady not too late on tomorrow, for it is likely that I may have to return here that night. But if need be, I shall come again in 3 days and stay longer if I must. Till then, goodbye, my friend John. Van Helsing.
This Van Helsing seems very colorful. Does Miss Lucy recover?
Haven't gotten there yet. I hope so. I always get so invested in stories like this. I want Lucy to be okay, and I just want Seward to actually treat Renfield like a person. Honestly, Seward kind of reminds me of Simon.
Really?
He just feels kind of detached. And Simon's a good guy, but sometimes his priorities feel wonky to me. And he can be sensitive about weird stuff. You know what? Ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Where is everyone?
Well, Lacey and Simon went back to the library to search for more journals. You look like shit.
I just woke up.
So, how was your night?
Good. Honestly, I don't remember last night super well. I don't even know how I got home.
Well, it certainly sounded like you were having fun.
You were there? You heard me?
Bro, no. You called me and left a message.
I called you? Ugh.
I'm going to take this opportunity to slip out. I am glad you made it back safely, Mr. Jamie. And I am glad you are enjoying your time in Romania.
Thank you, Mr. Andre. I hope it wasn't too loud getting in last night.
Not at all. You two enjoy your day.
I'm sorry I called you. I don't even know what I said.
Jamie, it's okay, really. It was funny. You sounded like you were happy, like drunk, but happy. And your friend sounded pretty cool, too.
Oh. His name is Marius. I think we just talked.
Huh.
Really.
I mean, going by your neck, I think you did a little more than talk.
Yeah. I think he may have been a little into biting. And, I think I was a little into it, too.
Yeah, you were. Oh, good for you, man.
We really did just talk most of the time. He was a really good listener. It was nice to have someone listen to me for a change.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Simon's always been focused. And Lacey, she's definitely not as aggressive about it as Simon, but, you know, she can talk and talk when she gets going. This trip is for them. I know that. I don't want to try and push them just because I'm feeling a little ignored.
And I'm probably not helping.
Well, you've always been very headstrong.
It's 'cause my head game's so strong.
Oh, God, please don't. You're the worst.
I'm awesome. Come on, let's go meet the two nerds.
So, where are we going?
To meet Lacey and Simon at the Historical Society. Apparently it's more touristy, and therefore our simple brains will be able to keep up.
Wait, are you taking that book with you?
Yeah. I just really want to show Lacey something in it.
Are you sure that's okay? It looks super old.
Well, I'll be careful with it. You're not gonna snitch, are you?
No!
You better not.
I won't!
Hey, I'm sorry if I've been steamrolling you on this trip. I'll I'll try not to do that anymore. To listen more.
It's okay. We both thought Aaron and Micah were coming too. They probably would have made things a little easier.
Yeah. Hey, have you heard from them? I left a voicemail for Micah, but I haven't heard anything back.
No, but Micah's pretty shit about checking his voicemails. I've been giving them some space. Simon said he thinks something happened with Aaron's family, and that's why they couldn't come.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hey, are they,
I don't know. Maybe. They're definitely close. You know, I thought they were dating for sure at one point when they started having, sleepovers. Thought it was a euphemism or something. But then, one night, they were being super loud, shouting like, fuck, and oh my god! So I thought they were,
yeah.
So I went to tell them to be quiet, and when Aaron opened the door, they were both fully clothed, and Micah was low-key crying, shouting at the TV. Aaron looked super distressed too and told me, hey, I'm sorry, bro, but we're really going through a lot right now. Dead serious.
What were they watching?
Full Metal Alchemist, the episode with Tucker and the Chimera, where,
No, I get it. No more, thank you. I'm done. Good, great, thanks.
Yeah, so I just gave them both a pat on the back and put some earplugs in.
They went through trauma together, so they're bonded now. Hey, and here is the Historical Society.
And there's Lacey.
Hey, babe.
Hey, babe. Hey, Jamie. I got you a coffee, hun.
You're a goddess. I can now maintain my corporeal form for at least another 4 hours.
Hey, where's Simon?
He said he wasn't feeling well, so he went back to the castle.
Babe, I have to show you what I found in the library today.
Ooh, what did you find?
Some real gay shit.
Oh.
There's these letters between these two women, Mina and Lucy, and it's not like explicit or anything, but it is pretty gay. Listen.
My dearest Lucy, forgive my long delay in writing, but I have been simply overwhelmed with work. I am longing to be with you, and by the sea, where we can talk together freely and build our castles in the air. I have been working very hard lately because I want to keep up with Jonathan's studies, and I have been practicing shorthand very assiduously.
Blah, 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 stuff about a man.
I will tell you of my little plans when we meet. I have just had a few hurried lines from Jonathan from Transylvania. He is well, and will be returning in about a week. I am longing to hear all his news. It must be so nice to see strange countries. I wonder if Jonathan and I, shall ever see them together. There is the 10 o'clock bell ringing. Goodbye. Your loving, Mina.
Ooh, very cute. And does she receive a reply?
Yeah, look here.
My dearest Mina, I must say you tax me very unfairly with being a bad correspondent. Oof. I wrote to you twice since we parted, and your last letter was only your second. Besides, I have nothing to tell you. Town is very pleasant just now, and we go a good deal to picture galleries and for walks and rides in the park. As to the tall, curly-haired man, that was Arthur Homewood. He often comes to see us, and he and Mama get along very well together. We met some time ago a man that would just do for you if you were not already engaged to Jonathan. A Mr. Seward. He is a doctor and really clever, just fancy. He is only 29, and he has an immense lunatic asylum all under his own care. Mr. Homewood introduced him to me, and he called here to see us and often comes now. I think he is one of the most resolute men I ever saw, and yet the most calm. I can fancy what a wonderful power he must have over his patients. He has a curious habit of looking one straight in the face, as if trying to read one's thoughts. He tries this very much with me, but I flatter myself he has a tough nut to crack.
Who's this guy?
I read about him earlier this morning. His name is Dr. Seward, and he's like a mental health doctor, I think. He has this patient that sounds super mentally ill named Renfield who, he eats raw birds.
Ew.
So.
And Lucy is, what, a friend of his now? Or a patient too?
I think she's a patient, but she's not in the asylum like Renfield. I think she has some weird, unexplainable sickness.
He says that I afford him a curious psychological study, and I humbly think I do. I do not, as you know, take sufficient interest in dress to be able to describe the new fashions. Dress is a bore. That is slang again, but never mind. Arthur says that every day. There. It is all out. Mina, we have told all our secrets to each other since we were children. We have slept together.
Gay!
And eaten together, and laughed and cried together. And now, though I have spoken, I would like to speak more. Oh, Mina, couldn't you guess? I love Arthur. I am blushing as I write, for although I think he loves me, he has not told me so in words. But, oh, Mina, I love him. I love him. I love him.
Decidedly less gay.
No. Don't worry. It gets gay again.
I wish I were with you, dear, sitting by the fire and dressing as we used to sit, and I would try to tell you what I feel. I do not know why I am writing this even to you. I am afraid to stop, or I should tear up the letter, and I don't want to stop, for I do so want to tell you all. Let me hear from you at once, and tell me all that you think about it. Mina, I must stop. Good night. Bless me in your prayers, and Mina, pray for my happiness.
Lucy writes quite a lot, so here's another one to Mina.
My dearest Mina, my dear, it never rains but it pours. How true the old proverbs are. Here am I, who shall be 20 in September, and yet I never had a proposal till today, and today I have had 3. Just fancy, 3 proposals in one day. Isn't it awful? I feel sorry, really and truly sorry for 2 of those poor fellows. Oh, Mina, I am so happy that I don't know what to do with myself. Well, my dear, number 1 came just before lunch. I told you of him, Dr. John Seward, the lunatic asylum man with the strong jaw and the good forehead. He was very cool outwardly, but was nervous all the same. He spoke to me, Mina, very straightforwardly. He told me how dear I was to him, though he had known me so little, and what his life would be if with me to help and cheer him. He was going to tell me how unhappy he would be if I did not care for him, but when he saw me cry, he said that he was a brute and would not add to my present trouble. Then he broke off and asked if I could love him in time, and when I shook my head, his hands trembled, and then with some hesitation he asked me if I cared already for anyone else. And then, Mina, I felt a sort of duty to tell him that there was someone. I only told him that much, and then he stood up, and he looked very strong and very grave as he took both my hands in his and said,
I hope you will be happy. If you ever want a friend, you must count me one of your best.
Oh, Mina dear, being proposed to is all very nice, but it isn't at all a happy thing when you have to see a poor fellow whom you know loves you honestly going away and looking all broken-hearted. Well, my dear, number 2 came after lunch. He is such a nice fellow, an American from Texas, and he looks so young and so fresh that it seems almost impossible that he has been to so many places and had such adventures. Mr. Quincy P. Morris found me alone. I must tell you beforehand that Mr. Morris doesn't always speak slang, for he is really well educated and has exquisite manners, but he found out that it amused me to hear him talk American slang, and whenever I was present and there was no one to be shocked, he said such funny things. Well, Mr. Morris sat down beside me and looked as happy and jolly as he could, but I could see all the same that he was very nervous. He took my hand in his and said ever so sweetly,
Now, Miss Lucy, I know I ain't good enough to regulate the fixing of your little shoes, but I guess if you wait till you find a man that is, you will go join them 7 young women with the lamps when you quit. So won't you just hitch up alongside of me and let us go down the long road together, driving in double harness?
That is quite the line.
Well, he did look so good-humored and so jolly that it didn't seem half so hard to refuse him as it did poor Dr. Seward. So I said, as lightly as I could, that I did not know anything of hitching, and that I wasn't broken to harness at all yet. Then he said that he had spoken in a light manner, and he hoped that if he had made a mistake in doing so on so grave, so momentous an occasion for him, I would forgive him. He really did look serious when he was saying it, and I couldn't help feeling a bit serious too. And then, my dear, before I could say a word, he was pouring out a perfect torrent of love-making, laying his very heart and soul at my feet. I suppose he saw something in my face which checked him, for he suddenly stopped and said with a sort of manly fervour,
Lucy, you are an honest-hearted girl. Tell me, like one good fellow to another, is there anyone else that you care for? And if there is, I'll never trouble you a hair's breadth again, but will be, if you'll let me, a very faithful friend.
Why can't they let a girl marry 3 men, or as many as want her, and save all this trouble? I am glad to say that, though I was crying, I was able to look into Mr. Morris's brave eyes and told him out straight. Yes, there is someone I love, though he has not told me yet that he even loves me. I was right to speak to him so frankly, for quite a light came into his face, and he put out both his hands and took mine and said in a hearty way,
Now there's my brave girl. It's better worth being late for a chance of winning you than being on time for any other girl in the world. Oh, now don't cry, my dear. Well, if it's for me, I'm a hard nut to crack, and I take it standing up. Now, if that other fellow doesn't know his happiness, well, you better look for it soon, or he'll have to deal with me.
"Oh, that's actually quite sweet.
Yeah, but is there anything else about Mina?
Not that I can see."
Well, they're clearly in love.
"Oh, clearly."
Alright, guys, I'm gonna go into the Historical Society. You can stay out here and flirt, or you can come with.
We're coming. So, babe, what's the deal with this place? What's their shtick?
The Historical Society mainly focuses on a ship known as the Demeter. It seems to have somewhat legitimate connections to Dracula, but really this place capitalizes on the ghost story aspect.
Oh man, I want a boat so bad.
It's a ship, not a boat.
Yeah, I know there's a difference.
Oh, 1 second. You two go in without me.
See you in there.
Hello, this is Lacey.
Hi, Lacey, it's Annika. How are you?
Oh my god, Annika, it's so good to hear from you. Wait, we didn't have a call scheduled or anything, did we?
No, I just wanted to check in, make sure everyone made it here safely.
Yeah, we did. Oh my god, it's been amazing. Everyone has been so friendly. Andre, the caretaker of the castle, has been so knowledgeable and kind. And the library here is so much better than I could have hoped for.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Everyone's comfortable, there were no issues settling in.
No, everything's been great. There's been a little bit of vacation squabbling, but not nearly as much as I thought there'd be.
Oh, has Simon been difficult?
Simon? Oh, no, not at all. My partner is here, and so is their ex. They're just butting heads a little. Simon's been great. Why do you ask?
I just know that he can be rather focused when it comes to the work.
Oh, I understand. But we've really been working together great. He told me that the two of you had a falling out?
He did. What did he say?
Oh, well, he didn't say what happened, just that you two weren't really speaking. And that he hoped to reconnect with you.
I'm glad to hear he feels that way. Well, if he didn't tell you what our disagreement was about, then I will respect his privacy. I hope you understand.
Of course. And really, working with Simon on this trip has been going really well. Actually, Dr. Verhoeven, we think we've found something. Something important.
About Dracula?
Yes. We found some journals. They're super old, and some of the writing is hard to make out. But I think they're legit.
Well, you have to keep in mind there's plenty of fictional accounts of Dracula from the time period. People capitalizing on the mystery.
I know, but these are different, really. There's letters and journals written by different people, but they all reference each other.
It could be a very elaborate collection of short stories.
I don't think so. The handwriting and syntax varies from person to person. There's complex interpersonal relationships, accurate descriptions of the castle. There's even dates on some of the entries. I really think they were real people who stayed with or knew Dracula. And that's not all. Dr. Verhoeven, some of their accounts are strange, seemingly supernatural. There's one entry that says Dracula had wings and could scale down the side of a building. I don't know if it can be explained by drugs or something, but whoever wrote it believed that that's what they saw. I mean, this is huge. Dr. Verhoeven, can you hear me?
Lacey, I need you to be very careful.
No,
I need you to listen to me. I don't know what exactly you found, but you need to be extremely careful. The mystery of Dracula has remained unsolved for over a century now, and I am inclined to think that there is a reason for that. Studying Dracula's strong historical presence and cultural influence is one thing. Actively researching supernatural accounts is quite another.
That doesn't make sense. You've said before that Western scholars need to be more open to the possibility of supernatural or non-traditional powers affecting the cultures we study.
Being aware of those possibilities and actively seeking them out are two very different things. I'm sorry, Lacey, I really don't mean to rain on your parade. People here in Romania are very sensitive and superstitious, and I guess it's rubbed off on me a little bit. What does Simon say?
He's excited too. He's been really good about deciphering some of the handwriting.
Well, that's always helpful. I'm glad your trip is going so well. I'll go ahead and let you go. Just promise me that you will be careful.
I promise. Thank you for your concern, really. I really admire you, Dr. Verhoeven.
Please call me Annika.
Annika, yes. And I know we're only here for a week, but if it's possible, I'd love to meet, grab a coffee maybe?
Maybe. I'd like that. I'll let you know after I've had a chance to look at my calendar. Is this number all right to contact you at?
Yes, this number is great. I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, Lacey.
Hey, babe, who's that? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. That was Annika.
Dr. Verhoeven?
Yeah.
You look awfully unhappy for someone who just had a talk with her academic crush.
Well, she was originally just calling to check in, but when I told her about the journals we found, she got really weird.
Like, jealous weird?
Oh, God, no. She was worried about us. She gave me a kind of cryptic warning and told me to be careful.
That's unnerving.
It was. But then she told me she was just being a little superstitious, tried to play it off. I don't know. She sounded super serious. She told me some mysteries stay mysteries for a reason.
I'm sure she just wanted to make sure you weren't planning on breaking any laws or anything.
Yeah, don't worry about it too much. We're not doing anything bad. Everything we found has come from a library.
Hey.
I'm sorry, are we,
We're talking about Annika, right?
Yes?
What's it to you, Hot Topic?
Morgan, stop.
You should listen to her. She's a smart lady.
Who do you think you are?
Hey, I apologize. I'm sure you mean well, but we'd rather you didn't eavesdrop on our conversations.
Whatever. I'm just saying, Annika knows what she's talking about. If she gave me a cryptic warning, I'd listen to her.
Thank you for your input. We'll be sure to take that into account.
Whatever. I don't have time for this. I have to get back to work.
What the fuck was that about?
I don't know, but I'm not sure they make the best docent if they're gonna antagonize the visitors.
Yeah. If I was a Karen, I'd totally write a strongly worded letter. Or something like that.
Well, maybe they have a suggestion box somewhere.
Hey, Lacey, are you okay, babe?
Yeah. I'm fine. I don't know. That was super weird. I think I need to talk to Simon.
Wait, you're not actually taking the walking emo phase seriously, are you?
I thought they looked pretty cool, honestly.
Well, okay, so did I, but that doesn't make them trustworthy.
Lacey, it was just some kid. Don't worry about it.
But Annika...
Annika told you to be careful. And that kid told you to listen to Annika. So all you have to do is be careful, right?
I guess.
Tell me, who is a super smart doctorate student with countless research hours?
Me?
Good. And who regularly makes connections others don't because she knows how to look beyond our privileged Western viewpoints?
Me.
And who's a hot as shit goddess?
Me!
Damn right!
Woo! Alright, let's go look at touristy ghost ship stuff! Alright, I have here, looks like a voicemail from Dr. Annika Verhoeven to Simon Jones from case file 18B97S. Playing it now.
Hello, this is Simon Jones. I'm afraid I cannot answer my phone, but please leave a detailed message for me with your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Simon, you need to call me. I know we fought, but this is serious. I spoke with Lacey. I don't know what you found or how you got it, but this isn't a game. Call me.
You've been listening to The Dracula Inquiry, produced by the Artsonists. This episode was written by Lauren Dobbs. Production and technical direction by R. Klein. Audio editing by Lauren Dobbs and R. Klein. The roles of Simon and Seward were played by Andrew Kilpatrick. The roles of Detective Sheridan, Jamie, and Jonathan Harker were played by Alex E. Hanbury. The roles of Andre and Renfield were played by Phil Oberholzer. The roles of Morgan and Mina were played by Jay LaPlante. The roles of Van Helsing and Annika were played by Lauren Dobbs. The roles of Lacey and Lucy were played by Jessica Lynn Jakopak. The role of Quincy Morris was played by Mike DeQuilla, and the role of the goth Romanian docent was played by Casey Cole. Want to help us buy Jamie a boat? Follow us on Instagram and Twitter for news and more, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and share this series with a friend. Thank you to everyone who has shown support so far, and tune in December 21st for the next episode of The Dracula Inquiry.